Hi, should be the last video for the chapter on memory. If I don't cover a keyword, I don't have the list with me. I didn't get to pick that up when we had to go to the office the last time. So just email me what the term is, and then I'll send about a email defining that term. But we talked about 5 things that promote poor retrieval. Disuse fading, and then interferences too, and suppression. Well, these are 4 things you can do to combat those. And so I'm going to talk about those really quickly. The first is the 3 R's. The 3 R's. Review, repeat, recite, review. Recite. Here I'm blowing this again. Repeat, recite, review. First of all, repeat means after you have a class, when you go back home to the dorm or wherever, you need to look at your notes of that day in class. Excuse me. Recite is when you come to something you think is important, like, oh, Julian's going to ask this, then you say it out loud. We used to think reading out loud or talking out loud was bad, but actually it helps remember because you add an extra sense. And the third is review. You shouldn't cram. You should review your notes before the test, the main points. So repeat, recite, review. That's the 3 R's. That only counts as 1. When I asked on test for 2, that only counts as 1. And of course, that helps disuse and fading. The second one I talk about is distributed practice, or the book calls pacing. And that is you break information down in small chunks. You'll notice I'm doing these little videos, short videos. I'm pacing them. So hopefully you gain more information instead of a 50-minute video and too much information. And so distributed practice, say you had to learn all 45 presidents, 5 at a time. First 5, next 5, next 5, next 5. And eventually, doing that way, you remember more than if you try to cram all 45 at one time. Now, let me give you an example of bad distributed practice or non-distributed practice. When I was in college, I know centuries ago, I took a class in Roman history. I kind of like history courses. I don't know why. But anyway, I took a course in Roman history, which was a mistake because the book was like this big. And we had the class in the little theater. I don't know why we didn't have it in the history building, but we had an English teacher. A teacher from England. So no midterm, no papers, no quizzes, just a final at the end. And he would be on, like I said, the small theater. He would come out on the stage left, and he'd just start talking, and he'd go back and forth, and then he'd just walk off. Never engage the class and hello, I'm blank blank, how you doing, that kind of stuff. Nope. But this guy was brilliant. He was fantastic. If I could teach 1/10 as good as he could teach, I would be happy, because once he started talking, he took you there. You felt like you were alive in that event happening. And so at the end of class, I had no notes because I was so enthralled by what he was saying, I didn't write anything down. And I kept on going, I'll read the book tomorrow. So when the final came, and my whole grade was based on that, I got a book this big to try to read, and which I didn't read all of it, of course. I had no notes. And so that was not distributed practice. We had to identify 100 Romans, and I just put down Roman Emperor, Roman General, and I got over 80%, so I got a B. But I don't remember any Roman history at all. None. All I remember is Corporal Africanus, and he's a Roman general who sacked Carthage and destroyed it after Hannibal sacked Rome. And the only time I ever used it is I was working in Vizcaya, and it's a beautiful place, tourist place in Miami. And if you ever watch Miami Vice or Miami CSI or any of the movies in Miami, all the crime goes down there, drug deals. It's a beautiful location. And I planted some of those plants. So when you watch this guy go, ooh, I enjoyed planting that. But anyway, so I'm sitting there in the hot sun, and this lady comes up and says, son, well, it made me mad because she was my mom. I said, yes. What's that plant? I had no idea. I was told to plant this plant. She said, what is that? And I said, this is Corpora Africanus. And she wrote that down, walked off. I'm going, you stupid. But anyway, that's why you should pace, because I don't remember anything. The third thing is serial position effect. You remember the beginning and the ends, but not the middle. Who's the first president? You probably know George Washington. Who's our last president? Oh, God, Trump. Okay, who's our 22nd or 23rd president? Yeah, you probably don't remember. Or like the Star Spangled Banner. Oh, say, can you see? We know that first line. And the home of the brave, we know the last line, but we don't know what's line 7. It's 14 lines to the Star Spangled Banner. As a side note, did you know Star Spangled Banner was written for Mexicans? Because really the first line is, Jose, can you see? Okay. So the fact is that primacy is the strongest, and that's the first part of a list. Recency is the last part of the list, and we have trouble in the middle. So to combat this, you need to study sometimes your notes in the middle of your notes, because you remember the first part of your notes, and the last part of life you don't remember the middle. And this is going to come up because we're going to do a video in class, and that's one couple of the answers. But anyway, the last one is Oswald, which leads us to chapter 7, thinks that when you teach stuff, you should teach differences from the information, so it can't interfere with each other. This is how emitted is different from elicited. Bruner believes just the opposite. You should teach similarities, like the Kennedy assassination and the Lincoln assassination. Both killed by Southerners. One was killed at Ford Theater. The other was killed in a Ford. Both had presidents named Johnson, so forth and so on. So teach similarities or teach differences depending on which you like, Oswald or Bruner, and that's supposed to combat interference. The last thing is the book talks about 3 mnemonic devices, and on the test I'm going to ask about one of them. Loci method is remembering things by location. And if you remember, if you saw the video about visual imagery, you use your body parts to remember food items like we did. Or if you say you loci method, what do I need for the kitchen? What do I need for the bathroom? What do I need for the living room? So forth. Link method is just linking things together, somehow tying them in, so that you try to, link dishwashing liquid with apples. I don't know how you link them, but that's how to. And the third method is phonic method, what they claim is the best. To me, that's more confusing. But I read an article about people who can memorize people at audiences. They go on, Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, and they memorize the whole audience. They use the phonic method, which is using numbers as for replace letters. To me, I don't know how that works, but that's supposed to be the best. Okay, remember, if I didn't cover any words on the list, please let me know. Have a great day. It's beautiful outside. I can't go out. I'm not allowed, but okay. But have fun.